into Talking, and today we're going to be doing scriptures. But before we do scriptures, I have something that probably a lot of people can't do.
You're just learning it too, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so don't let it distract or discourage if you're learning and you're having a hard time, because Clinton's just barely learning this too. It's really fun.
And so I just did it before camera, but I did it even better. So I did it down, did it up, and it went around like this, and went back down, and I caught it up. So I'm just going to do this one more time, because I really want to, and I really like it. Oh!
There
Just
you
like that!
All right.
That was surprising.
Yep, so
That was not on purpose, I promise you guys.
look what perseverance gets you, right? Okay. Very cool. All right, so we've been reading up to the last couple of days about Abraham and Sarah. And yesterday we learned about how Sarah had a son whose name was Isaac. Okay.
And unfortunately, a sad thing might happen to Isaac.
Yeah. So here's the crazy thing. So today we understand that we get to learn about how God tests Abraham's faith and Isaac's faith. Okay. So a couple of things. When this chapter occurred, Isaac was about 37 years old, or at least 30 years old is the estimate of some scholars, 30 to 37. And so that would make his father 130 years old. Okay? Because when Isaac was born, Abraham was 100 years old.
By the way, on the thumbnail, on the thumbnail that we did, there you see someone holding a baby. That's not Hagar holding her son. That's Sarah holding Isaac.
That's right. Very good.
That's
Okay.
why I put that up.
Cool. Okay. So, and it came to pass after these things that we'd been reading about yesterday, right? That God did tempt Abraham, or test him, not tempt him. Satan tempts us to do bad things, but this is testing to prove Abraham's faithfulness. And said unto him, Abraham, and said he, Behold, here I am. And God, he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah. Okay. I made some notes here. What does that say? Just a few hundred feet from God. Oh, from Golgotha. I must have learned that when I was in school. Very interesting. So Moriah is supposedly the same place where Christ was sacrificed, where he suffered on the cross. Okay. So God continues, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell of thee. What?
It's a sad story. I told you.
What? So what did God just say? What did he tell Abraham to do?
Kill your son.
Yeah. Take him up onto the mountain and offer him for a sacrifice to me.
Now, look. Wait. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to say it after we read this chapter.
Okay.
After the sacrifice ends.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass, which is a donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering. So they chopped the wood, and rose up and went unto the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship. and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon his son Isaac. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife. And they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham, his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he, Isaac, said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? So up to this point, Isaac thought they were going up into the mountain to sacrifice a lamb, according to the law of Moses, which is what they did on a regular basis, or at least once or twice a year. And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. Okay, this reference, Hebrews 17 through 19. I think we're going to read this really quick. Let's jump over there. Clinton, you want to read this? Hebrew 17 through 9. Oh, wait, shoot. What was the chapter? Maybe it is the chapter. The chapters. Oh, 11. Hebrew 11. So Hebrews chapter 11.
Wow. Wait, where's the topical guide here?
Right here. See that TG? And then BD stands for Bible Dictionary. So we're going to go to...
I actually kind of want to go to the... guys, I need to teach you scripture searching one of these days.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Let's do that. Okay, so here's chapter 11. Can you read verses 17 through 19 right here? Clinton?
Mm-hmm. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried offering up Isaac, and he offered up his only begotten son.
And he that had received the promises
of
offered
up his only begotten son,
mm-hmm.
of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that God was able to rise him up even from the dead. He received him in a figure.
Right. So this is just basically giving us some background about what Isaac had done, or Abraham and Isaac had done before this, okay? They had covenanted with God, didn't they? And they made promises, okay? Well, like we talked about before, this is one of the ways that God was testing Abraham to see if he would obey his part of the commitment that he made, okay? I also think that this was a way that God was helping Abraham see his own strength and see how strong his faith was, okay? Okay. And they came to the place which God had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. Okay? So sometimes God, and this is a quote by George Q. Cannon, he said, God tries us so that we can know that we can do it. God already knows we can. We don't have to prove it to him, but we have to prove it to ourselves. Okay? All right, so let's read a little bit more and see what happens. So here's Isaac, this grown man, laying on this altar, and he's tied to it. And what's interesting is Isaac also has to, this is a test of Isaac's faith too, because he does it willingly, doesn't he? He's obedient to his father. Okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what does verse 10 say? Ready?
You have to read verse 10.
Okay. Oh, and Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. Then what happens?
All right. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son only from me,
Thine only son.
thine only son from me.
Remember how long it took them to get a son? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so just as Abraham raised the knife to slay his son Isaac, the Lord, an angel called out and said, "Stop."
God says, stop.
That's right. He said, "Abraham, lay not thine hand upon the lad." Okay? "For I now know that thou fearest God." Okay, go ahead, honey. Verse 13.
Even if I had to, so it was a test, and God would only tell, if it was in a test, God would tell him to kill him because he would be really evil later.
Yeah, could be.
If he stayed alive.
Yeah, but definitely that is not what Abraham's heart is like, is it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he was kind and loving and patient and really had a great faith in God, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And this just proves it, huh? Yeah. Okay, so let's see what happens instead. Because they're up there, they traveled many days to make a great sacrifice. So let's see what they do instead.
Isaac, the coat of many colors.
No,
Isaac,
that's Joseph.
Abraham's son. Oh.
Yeah, that's Joseph, the coat of many colors.
Isaac, the coat of many colors. Wait, what about?
No.
We'll
get to Joseph soon.
What about Isaac and the lions?
No, that's Daniel.
I know.
That's Daniel, silly goose. Okay. All right, so verse 13.
How many more verses?
Not very many. This is kind of these chapters are pretty short. 24 verses. Okay, you read to 20. How about that?
I read to 20, then you read 2, and I read 2.
Okay. 13.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and beheld behind him a ram caught in a thicket by thorns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up to a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. Actually, guys, I want you to see Mongo. Actually, so when he goes outside, he normally gets to get a treat, and the treat is in that teacup over there. And he's looking at us, and he's looking at the teacup full of treats. So.
Okay, come on. Okay, so verse 15.
And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiply I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt in Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah sea hath also borne children unto thy brother Nahor.
Okay, so this account is reviewing now Abraham's nieces and nephews
Hang on,
that his brother Nahor has. So Huz, his firstborn, and Buz or Buz, his brother, and Kemuel, the father of Aram,
Ah.
and Kased, and Hazo, and Fildash, and Jidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begat Rebekah.
Bethuel.
These eight Milcah did bear to
Mom,
Nahor.
I was supposed to read
Oh, I'm sorry.
the last two.
Okay, sorry. 23.
We already read it, so I'm just going to read 24.
No, read it because I didn't finish 23. Go ahead.
And Bethuel begat Rebekah. These eight Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine.
Concubine.
I was just going to say cacao bean. Kind of. His name was Rima. She bare also Teba, and Gaham, and Tisha, and Makkah.
Okay, sorry, Clinton keeps bumping the the camera. Okay, so now we're gonna continue with one more chapter. Okay.
No, we're not.
So Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kirjath Arba, the same as Hebron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from before his dead and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, so this is her funeral service. I am a stranger. What?
It's halftime. So, look over here.
Oh.
This is also another trick I know. Okay, let me start it.
Okay.
It can't go on its top. It can't go on its side like this. Hang on. It can't go on its side like that.
Okay. All right, so they're at Sarah's funeral, and Abraham says, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, hear us, my lord, thou art a mighty prince among us. In the choice of our sepulchres, bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth. And he communed with them, saying, if it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and entreat for me to Ephron the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he hath, which is in the end of his field, for as much money as it is worth. He shall give it me for a possession of a burying place amongst you. So he's choosing a burial plot for Sarah and his family.
No, for Sariah. Wait, no. For Sarai.
For Sarah.
No,
and
for Sarah, FYI, Sarai.
And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even of all that went in at the gate of his city, saying, nay, my lord, hear me, the field give I thee, and the cave that is therein I give it thee, in the presence of the sons of my people give I it thee, bury thy dead. And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land. And he spake unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, but if thou wilt give it, I pray thee, hear me. I will give thee money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, my lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that betwixt me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. Yep, okay. All right, so they're telling the story of how Abraham paid for the plot of land to be able to bury Sarah, his wife, and his family. Okay, all right, you want to finish it?
I'll read the last two. The last four.
This is the last four.
Last three.
And the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure.
Unto Abraham for a position in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in at the gate of his city. And after this Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave of the field of Machpelah, before Mamre, the same as Hebron, in the land of the Canaan.
Land of Canaan.
And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for the position of bearing a place by the sons of Heth.
Okay.
Heth.
All right, so this is lots going on. So Abraham and Isaac both have their faith tested, and then they lose their mother. So, hey, Clinton, is there anything else you said you wanted to say something else toward the end, or had you already said it?
I already said it.
Okay.
What I meant is when we were done with the sacrifice. I think that's what I said.
Yeah, okay, good.
Bye, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you do not miss another video. Mongo says bye too. Bye, guys! Sorry, but before you go, I have one more trick to show you.